What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a special topic, and I thought this is a good time because a lot of new people are coming in to probably hearing about the new region coming out, all these big changes and everything. So I wanted to talk about how to improve your experience in BDO, making goals, setting like objectives you want to do. And so if you come from a different MMO, let's say like Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, those kind of things, the game plays a little bit differently, as in like this is a sandbox. You do what you want. There is no like set end game of this game. You just kind of find something you enjoy doing, and then you do that for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And then, the end game is to, I don't know, more or less get the gear you want to get for whatever you enjoy doing, whether it's like life skilling, just grinding circles, PvP, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I have 5 tips that I can give you guys. They're not really in any particular order of like priority, just kind of do them all in general. So, number 1 would be to pick a class you enjoy playing. So, in this game, there are like 28 classes, and I know a lot of people just say, I want to play one class and that's it. Like, I understand that when you come from different games or just in general, people like to play one class as their main and that's it. So generally that's okay, myself included. There are a lot of reasons to have multiple characters in this game, but usually when people say this is a meta class and everything, usually I see a lot of people swapping over, re-rolling and everything. That's cool. But usually when games are like this, where you have to do or invest hundreds, if not thousands of hours into a specific few things, you generally want to play something that you enjoy doing. Otherwise, you will burn yourself out very quick. And trust me when I say that, I have definitely tried out some of the meta classes as well. And ultimately, I just seem to come back to the same class, Dark Knight, just because I enjoy playing it. The playstyle, it like fits for me. But yeah, if you want to invest tons of hours into something you really enjoy doing, find something you enjoy or a class that you find fun overall. If you like re-rolling and playing the meta things, that's cool too. There's no problem with it. But just know that you're going to be playing or doing something in particular for a long amount of times in this game. So that's number 1. Number 2 is setting goals for yourself in this game. So as we all know, progression works differently. Well, more or less. So in your traditional MMOs, the way it works is like, okay, get max level, do the end game raids, dungeons, and whatnot, get the best gear, maybe do it on another character, quit until the next expansion. But in this game, gear is never really irrelevant. Obviously, some are better than the others, but the way it works is every time they come out with like a new region, which is like an expansion more or less, your gear is still relevant. And that's something I really enjoy about this game. Whereas, you know how, I don't know, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, how they have new item level raid gear every season. So you play for an expansion, they come out with a new expansion, your old gear is irrelevant. It doesn't work like that, which is one thing I really enjoy in this game. So no matter what you work on, you feel like at the end of the day, when you get your gear, you feel like you've earned it. And whether that means you saved up enough silver to buy the gear or you like enhanced it yourself and you have your name on it, that's a goal. Everything you have, you feel like you've earned it one way or the other. And that's one very good thing. So one thing I've always told people in this game, when you're going for gear progression, always stick to like one piece of gear at a time. Because when you're trying to finish up like 5 or 6 different things at once, chances are your progression is a little bit slower because you're not making like one specific thing, or you're going down and up in gear. So like one thing I've always told people is never rule out your gear. And what I mean by that is like, let's say all of your gear is at Tet or something, and then you try to click them all at once, hoping one of them goes. But best case scenario is you one tap the first thing and then you just get immediate gains, right? Worst case is nothing goes and everything just downgraded. And trust me when I say that that really just makes you want to quit the game. And I've done it before, but did it exactly 2 times. And then I was like, yeah, never again. I'm just going to slow progression. So how would I go about like upgrading gear in this game? Just work on one piece at a time if you are enhancing it yourself. The best thing I could tell you is just save up silver and buy it, because I would say about like 99% of items in this game, you can just buy it off the market nowadays, and there's no RNG. Well, maybe some of it, and RNG is someone going to list it and do you win it. But overall, if you plan on making your gear yourself, work on one piece at a time. That way, the loss in case of the worst case scenario is it's not that bad. Or one thing I've always done was save up enough materials to get yourself to back to where you started at the very worst case scenario. And like, let's say you have a Tet piece of armor, right? By the end of it, you want to try to get yourself to Tet again, or like as close as you can. Otherwise, you're just taking heavy losses. And so, yeah. Overall, though, just buy your gear. That's the way it is. But let's say you are a life skiller or something, and then you like doing a lot of these things. Overall, let's say your gear is different. Like there's PvE, PvP gear, and then there's life skill gear. It works the same way for the most part. Work on one piece at a time. And overall, just find something you enjoy doing. Because if you try to do a little bit of everything at once, that's fine, but you just feel like you're not making as much of a gain as you could be, because the hard truth is efficiency is very important in this, even for casual players. It's one of those things where the higher your mastery, and not just like the number, but like your knowledge of the game and mastery of like levels and everything, the more profit you make in a video game. So overall, like the more you do one thing over like a jack of all trades kind of thing, like the higher or faster you'll progress. But there's definitely nothing wrong with just doing a little bit of everything. If you just like doing everything, that's cool. But if you focus on like a few things versus everything, you'll progress a lot faster. It's the hard truth, but I wish you could just make the same, like all life skills were more or less the same, but it's just not how it is. And so, yeah, setting goals like one piece of gear a month and something, that's always good. That's how I do it. Setting a goal keeps you from getting burnt out of the game. And yeah, you could watch some of my other videos and see how I go about doing it throughout the month. And we actually have one going right now, which is like every month we do a weekly update on like what kind of progression. And so, for example, this month for me, I'm trying to prepare for materials because we are getting the new region next month in June. So yeah, I'm just preparing for that. And so for all of you, find something you enjoy doing, stick to it, you'll progress. Everyone gets to the same point at the end of the day, eventually. All right, so next topic I wanted to talk to you guys about was learning the market. This is pretty standard for basically every game. And the way it works in this game is we have a central market. So how does this differ from other games? Is BDO is a very event-driven economy, as in, like, is this event going on? Does it give more of X items? Do we have a life skill event? Then that means we probably get more enhancing materials listed on a market. Do we have like a double drop rate for grinding? Certain spots will have more of these. And so, yeah, learning the market, figuring out what items are better crafted or what items are better to buy yourself is definitely a big thing. And so one series that I do on the channel, it's a monthly video. It's called Window Shopping. We look at the prices of basically all the relevant items that most people are looking to get in the future. And we look at price trends. And generally, especially this is more important for all of you life skillers out there, because you are looking for various materials. And sometimes you're like, what should I get? what will be my bottleneck. And so you kind of just figure out what's happening. And this is a very economy or event economy driven market. And so, yeah, just find out what you think is worthwhile. And the general rule of something is if there are a lot of orders on an item, that means it's rare and people use it to profit more. And generally, you shouldn't sell them. So it doesn't really matter what the item is, but if there's like hundreds of thousands of orders listed, chances are that is a high ticket item that you can use to life skill and enhance to more profit. So if you see those items and you're tempted to sell it, figure out what you can make with those items and then sell it. So you might make more money than you would just directly selling it off the market. I have a life skill guide. I think it's pretty easy to follow, but like we talk about like tier 1 materials, tier 2 and tier 3, how to turn those materials into more money. And then overall, it's a good life skill video that you guys can watch. And yeah. So the next thing we want to talk about is optimized progression. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of questions that I get are, how do I progress my gear? What should I go for next? And how to go about doing it. So the general rule I give to everyone, no matter what class you play, is get the most stats you can for your build for the cheapest amount of silver. So for example, let's look at a few items. Let's say, for example, you have all TED accessories, right? And you're wondering, okay, so what do I go from here? So let's look at a crescent ring. So let's say you have a TET one, right? And then you want to go for pen. So you look at this. You have 17 AP. Now you want to go to 20 AP. But the difference is like, let's just say for the easy math, 50 billion. That's how much it costs to get the upgrade. Now we look at another item that gives 3 AP. And we'll look at the little basilisk belt. So we look at this. So it's 17, the pen is 20. And the difference is like 40, like we'll just say for the sake of easy math, 40 billion. So you get the same stat numbers, but you save 10 billion silvers. See how that works in terms of like learning the market and optimize progression. So yeah, that's always what I've tried to teach people. Get the most stats you can for the least amount of silver. That way you can get your next upgrade faster if you're buying or making it yourself. And so you just kind of do that for all the upgrades all the way until the very end. And even then, once you're at the very end, just get more sets and stuff so you can have like PvP, PvE, life skill sets and everything. So I can assure you there are very few people in this game that have everything. I'm sure there are, but very few people have hard cap, like full hard cap gear for every like category. PvP, PvE, life skills. Very few people have it. So yeah, just focus on what you're doing, and overall you might just like someday you might find out this does not work for my build and switch it out. So otherwise, here's how I would go about this for newer players. Let's say you just graduated from Seasons, right? And you're wondering, okay, so I want to turn my Tuvala gear into boss gear, and I have like all TET weapons and armors. What is the best things I should go for first? Now, you would look at obviously the stats and what you get out of it. So obviously, like one gives more numbers than the other, presumably, but next thing you want to look at is what is the cheapest upgrade. So for example, let's say you had a red nose armor, right? Like you have all boss gear, and your goal is to get a fallen god armor. Now you look at the stuff on the market and see like the materials you need to upgrade it. Chances are the best or the cheapest upgrade for the next progression would be the chest piece armor, followed by the helmet. And then I guess with the new region, it'll be the gloves and then shoes. That's actually just how the order is. But overall, the general rule is cheapest amount of silver for the same or better stat upgrades. And once you get to the higher levels, that's when things get a little bit tricky. But overall, like, I'm sure you can figure it out. And if not, just feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer it. And finally, our next topic and our last one is overall just practice. So obviously there are people that like playing multiple classes. That's cool. And so what they do, or like when you are in your character creation, what I would do is make a trial character. What that is you could play a class and they give you like a set amount of gear and they have all the skill points unlocked. So basically you're allowed to test the class before you make one yourself. It is limited to like battle arena. So what that means is you can't take them out and like practice open world, but that's fine. You can go into like battle arena. I believe you can do like instance PvP stuff to try out new characters. I would definitely recommend doing that. Obviously playing the season is one way to do it, but just overall, that leads us back to like to pick the class you like doing. And just on the website, it tells you what all the classes are. And if you still don't know out of the 28 classes, just let me know what kind of play style you have, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. As in, like, do you like defensive, tanky builds in other games? Do you like playing casters? Do you like playing melee, assassins, healer type characters? I could definitely point you more in the right direction. There aren't any like specific tanks or healers in this game. Well, I mean, there are healing classes, but everything's a DPS in this game. But I can point you more into the playstyle I think you would like. So yeah, just try out a lot of different things, practice, and overall you'll get better. So hopefully that was helpful in how to improve your experience in this game, how to set goals, and learn how to like optimize your experience a little bit better. If you enjoyed this video, drop a quick like. Hopefully you guys will stick around for more videos in the future. I will definitely be back tomorrow, and have a fantastic day. Peace.